говорити про
Thank you very much for waiting. I will speak about support of armed forces of Ukraine and volunteers battalions. I invite Vadym Kodachigov. He's an organizer of volunteer civic initiative and representative of volunteers in the Ministry of Defense, who is responsible for humanitarian. We were supposed to. He's. We are waiting for some representatives of MOD. Vadym Kodachigov and one of 8 volunteers who work in the Ministry of Defense. And there was a serious competition, and we improve support supplies for MOD. Or help MOD to organize supplies on logistic issues. I'm responsible for humanitarian assistance between friendly countries, and what I do is I receive humanitarian cargoes, and I'm responsible for transparency of relations between donors and our armed forces who provide those presents, so to say. Also, I work on movement of those cargoes to ATO and to training fields, so they work on compatibility of our soldiers, and so we're trying to supply to guarantee a transparency of these relations between armed forces, volunteers, and friendly countries. And you know that after analyzing 3 months of my work in the Ministry of Defense, I can assure you that humanitarian assistance that comes to Ukraine from friendly countries is very helpful to supply our soldiers on the front line, because not always our production and rare services, not always are they in time to provide to satisfy the needs, especially when there are losses like clothing and other things. So that's why we are very thankful to the countries that are not indifferent, who help us very much, and we are ready for cooperation, and we are ready to show you. We guarantee that we are transparent completely, and we can give you reports on everything we do. Thank you. Vadym Kodachigov, I run the committee of material support of and the Council of Volunteers by the Ministry of Defense, and so I would like to tell you about the new event of volunteers in Prom. Our organizations on the 31st of January, we had the biggest volunteers exhibition, about 6,000 visitors, and 200 of Ukrainian producers of uniform or military uniform. As a result, we suggested to have one more exhibition, and very briefly, volunteer expo. All these 2 exhibitions, one of them will be for internal producers, the other will attract external producers. All these 2 exhibitions will be like one, and from 7 to 9 in April in Kyiv, and then the rest will be in all information will be provided from mass media. Very briefly about what we are planning to do now. Because of this existing situation in supplying to armed forces of Ukraine, there are some problems. Those problems are more related to the need to procure uniforms that are not planned. So, Vadym was working on Canadian supplies for uniforms, but the uniform that of 4th level of present, that you need to put something warmer under that, and that is not provided according to the plan. So for MOD, so that's why communication between MOD and volunteers organization, and as a result, we had an action, not only for yourself, that campaign is that we ask leading designers of Ukraine to provide their brand things, and with big, huge discounts, and all the profit from that event, from that campaign, from selling, will be directed to buy uniform that the Minister of Defense cannot buy. At the beginning, we wanted to have a campaign not only for yourself, and we sell brands, so famous designs of Ukraine, and the second, when you buy a T-shirt for yourself, and you buy a T-shirt for a soldier. If you buy a suit for yourself, you buy a suit for our soldier. It's underwear, cotton underwear under the main clothing. But we, in turn, we had representatives of MOD, and we understand that there are some more urgent procurements that they have to do now, and they're not able to do it on their own. So now I will show you at least to start an event. The campaign starts on March 1st, and in 2-3 minutes there will be uniforms, T-shirts, and this is what the designers have provided for us. This is our sign of Ukraine. There's a sign here, not only for yourself. There is our logotype, volunteers, Winprom, and these scarves will be on sale through Ukraine. And the point of this campaign is to help to procure what we need. And this is Anyan Design, and she provided her scarves, and also they will bring T-shirts, and so that will be like a set, and beautiful things. And I will tell you about our volunteersky Winprom and how we continue to work. I understand the situation that a part of the needs of the MOD and our soldiers are covered by volunteers, and there's a site, and it is called winprom.org.ua. There are all the producers of military uniform that produce uniform for our soldiers to prevent speculations, for volunteers to be able to purchase whatever they need by the price we produce. And we issued a special label, and it's our website, and there will be all the prices. And a new volunteer, it doesn't matter where you are, Lviv, Lutsk, Ivano-Frankivsk, and Ternopil, you can go to the website, and you see prices of producers, and with all the prices. And the more you make on war, the longer the war will continue to make the work of volunteers easier, and to improve the chance to buy. So we may develop this site and this campaign. Everyone who can participate in development of that activity, I can tell you. I had Artem Sitov live with Oleg Lisogorov. They told that so they can run PR activities for this event, and they're ready to. Here they brought T-shirts just from the print shop, and on the 1st of March it will come to all the cities, and every of these T-shirts Patriots of Ukraine buy that will provide warm clothing to our soldiers. I will send you one more. You see the prints are the same. It's a Leonard symbol. She's a young Ukrainian designer. She provided all to us. And these T-shirts will come since March 1st, and there will be some more. And all the profit will go to procure uniform to our soldiers, and I hope that will be in mass media, and will provide reports. The needs will cover. We'll agree with MOD, because sometimes they cannot make it, and we'll help them. And I hope that our united efforts will very soon finish war, and it will be fine, and our army will become the strongest in Europe, and our country will be the best. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Vladimir and Bogdan. Your questions to our speakers, please. Sergei Malchuk, Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. Tell me, Vadym, you do a lot of work, and I visited your exhibition, the first exhibition, and there's quite a huge event, big campaign. Tell me, at present, how did you solve the issue with organizing WinProm 2? Do you have an office, and who helps you with that? All organizations, all projects, volunteer projects, and we found support, volunteer expert, the similar exhibition which was supposed to have to be together with us, and we unite our efforts. We bring them together, volunteer expert, and the issue with the office will be solved with the place, and very soon we were working in parallel. They have some place, and we have place, and because we decided to unite, there will be one exhibition. There will be foreign producers and Ukrainian producers. Why do we bring our office together? Just to show our producers whom we invite achievements of European light industry, and maybe we'll share experience from European producer to our producer, and also we'll like to show to our volunteers achievements of our Ukrainian producers, and we'll bring two exhibitions together, and we'll cover maximum and of visitors. And thank you. Questions? Oksana Muller. It was very interesting from the very beginning when you were invited to work in MOD, and what results could come out of that. And honestly, from my heart, how do you feel? Do you feel that resistance? Do you feel cooperation? How can you put in your ideas into practice? You see that now we are on two sides of MOD. Bogdan, he represents volunteer paratroopers. He's inside, integrated. He was working inside of MOD. I'm Council Volunteers. That's an independent volunteers, association of volunteers. So we can press on MOD from outside and from inside. But this communication between internal and external volunteers with the support of MOD, we are trying to take them to our side to change their mentality that we have a war. It's not the time for bribes and to fill their pockets. First of all, soldiers on the front line and all the rest of the prompts, and with people like Bogdan and some other 8 people who are working in MOD, and we have such projects. A goal of such projects is to cover those needs which are physical MOD cannot do it. Why? They cannot just do that because MOD, there are such norm standards of supplies to soldiers, and that includes 72 positions, 72 items, starting with socks and up to hats. But they don't have a warmer for they cannot buy it, so they need to change a uniform or to bring. So we could start T-shirt from T-shirt. When we buy a T-shirt, we buy the second one and we send it to the front. But there are more important needs, like to warm up people. And through negotiations with the MOD, we found a urgent need, and that is warmers. So all the money we earn from the first part of uniforms, so we will buy warmers, and through our groups, volunteers, we will send it to the front line. Bogdan, by the way, he's responsible for logistics of that Canadian support, and but that Canadian uniforms, they need also that lining, warm lining. Look, we started to work. We are in this process, and we solve it. How to say it correctly? Not that we are forcing them, but we just emphasize. Oh, okay. We force MOD and the reserves to do their work, because if there is, if according to the norms of supplies, if there are some things, and if our soldiers don't get them, and we know that we have them in the warehouse, that's when we communicate volunteers and those units on the front line or even in the training center. And the communication is taking place. We get a signal from the front line, and there is a feedback. So we go to MOD or to the resource. I don't need to go because I'm a guest there. They know me well, and we solve the problem like quickly. We're not waiting for some requests and written requests or formalities. We solve it quickly, and we try to make this process not bureaucratic, and also to solve the problems which prolong all these things. Without we need to prevent delays. You know, we have a lot of experience, and yesterday my phone number is on the website of the Ministry of Defense, and when 50 call, 50 phones are there, and they just call mine as the last chance. And I get those calls, and they say, so I can communicate on how to connect volunteers and MOD and people with MOD, and you know, it works. And if those people cannot reach anyone in MOD, they can reach me, because I have an official status, and I have levers how to influence on those military men. It's great that we have such a chance to help people directly. If there is a problem, so we solve it right away, and it happens. Any answer, and if you answer to people, it's better than the silence, even if a negative answer. Sometimes you say we cannot help you because there is such a problem, but we'll work on that. It's better than when they are calling and their phone calls are ignored. People just don't understand what's happening in the country. Thank you. I have one verification. As to Canadian assistance, they provided us provided to Ukraine about 30,000 uniforms. Yes, they sent two cargoes during my work in the ministry. I work in the MOD since November 15. In the end of November, there was a plane, and it was like a presentation of our cooperation with Canada. And a new updated cooperation, because in the summer they failed. Military men, border guards participated, and there were some problems with what honesty questioned, and Canadians were not happy with our military men. When we started to work on this issue, and when we started cooperating with representatives of Canadian government and volunteers from Canada, we were able to provide transparency all the process. And you know that in January, and then I received 3,000 uniforms, and I demonstrated that we can make the process work properly. And now I can tell you that we received 2 ships and 42 containers for 40 feet in Odessa on January 9. For months I was receiving that cargo, and we distributed it through Ukraine to training centers, and there was a cargo for 70,000 boots, pairs of boots, and 30,000 uniforms. The fourth level with micro lining, warm lining, and like in foreign armies, they don't have such a thing like a fufaika or a warm coat. They have the principle of multi-layers. So you put a warm lining, and it's convenient. It doesn't limit your movements, and you can normally fight and do your job. And 2 days ago, I came from the front line, and I took volunteers from Canada, representatives from Canada. For 3 days. We delivered. We had 3,300 suits for urgent needs of fighters and ATO, our military men. And we went to 4 sectors, and we gave to those soldiers who needed. And we have reports, and we have video and photo confirmation of all that. Cooperation continues, and now we negotiate with them and to get a lot of summer uniforms and field uniforms, and the same with electronics and radio communications. The process has started, and they like it very much. I'm happy that we were able to develop communication and cooperation with them. And now I responsible not only for that assistance, but everything which is related to humanitarian assistance from all the countries. And so the process goes on, and we are very happy with this cooperation. And in the end, I would like to show the samples again. The samples of T-shirts, and since March 1st, the campaign begins. And we'll put them on the website, the number of shops, partners, and during for a week, and they will take these T-shirts and T-shirts and scarves will be in 5 biggest cities of Ukraine: Kiev, Lviv, Dnipropetrovsk, Odessa, and Kharkiv. And in those 5 cities, this campaign begins, and then there will be some different models, and our designers models, they will support this activity, and with our we'll be able to help our soldiers on the front line. Let me finish my question about Buhran. It's the question for you. We received this, so you received that Canadian uniform. How to control? The thing is, in some units and mobilized soldiers during the 4th, they under-received something. How to control such bad people locally? Those boys who are not equipped well, whom they can communicate. That's why there is my phone number on the website. And it's everyone who is underprovided, who has a problem. And if people see that there is something not fair, they can call me any time of the day, and I will be happy to help them. To those soldiers who are undersupplied, or at least we'll find reasons why. Because sometimes it happens when they are not supposed to receive something. They are provided something, but they want more. We are fair, and for us, we don't have like good or bad. We assess the situation objectively, and we find. So now you have my phone number on the website. So maybe there will be. We'll need to set up a call center. One more question. Ukrinform, and the question to Bogdan. You say that you work on humanitarian cargoes brought from abroad to Ukraine to our soldiers. In addition to Canada, could you tell us which countries provide to us? And the second question is, you spoke about the norms of supplies to soldiers, and those norms should be changed. And can you initiate that those norms are changed and improved? I'll start with the second. Now, one of the volunteers who belongs, who is working in the Ministry of Stelmakh, she's running a Department of State Procurement, and they cooperate with the RIA service, and they're working on buying new samples of uniform, and they develop new standards. So the process has started, and they will change the rations and standards. It takes a lot of time, unfortunately, and we don't have a lot of time. We don't have no time to wait, as we're trying to fill the gaps. And before they develop documents and technical documentation for all of that, we cooperate, negotiate with the countries who can help us at least to cover some gaps, to cover some needs, and volunteers to do that. That's why we cooperate, and we don't want volunteers to buy something which we have in the warehouses. We can provide it from the warehouses, and for volunteers to buy something which is not provided according to the standards, like warm lining and up to thermal visors, which are very expensive. For us not to waste money for uniform, but to pay money to those things that will improve capability of our soldiers. As to cargos I received during 3 months, there was from the UK and 1,000 very good bulletproof jackets for 5th rank of protection for special forces. The newest from 2014. We are very thankful to the UK. 1,000 of Kevlar helmets, second class, the new ones. 500 sleeping bags and 90 backsacks for medical staff and for nurses, for those who evacuate and wounded from the field. And that is one of the last we received from Australia, Netherlands, Poland. These are only what I can tell you right now. Czech Republic, we negotiate with them, and there is a cargo they wanted to send us, and the only issue is we need to organize the shipment. Romania would like to help us for $100,000 to provide medicine. So I organize and connect the people and starting with negotiations. So we have an ambassador, a separate ambassador on special assignments, and an advisor for the Minister of Defense, who is from Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He helps them MOD. So there's a trend. So professionals from all the fields, and they send from ministries in order to strengthen with good stuff from their ministries in difficult times, in hard times. Thank you very much, Vadym and Bogdan, for your work.